On this episode of Game Shack, I'm going to give you my Christmas buying guide 2021 for retro home arcade games. A budget for everyone, really. Everything from a $20 game all the way up into the $800 game. I'm going to give you my recommendations and tell you where you can get them and tell you where to look if you want to get reviews on these games. All that and more coming up next. Hey everybody, it's JDV here for EvilGeniusEntertainment.com. Thank you for stopping by the Game Shack, the world's smallest arcade. All right, let's just jump right on into this. Right off the bat, where can you get these products that I'm about to mention? Well, you can get these, generally speaking, from QVC, Home Shopping Network, Target, Kohl's, Walmart, Best Buy, or GameStop. If you should be able to find everything that I mentioned at one of those stores. I believe Home Depot sells arcade one-up games now. So look around. You could see very big pricing discrepancies depending on which product you're looking at in what store. You could see as much as a $200 to $150 price difference in these products. And you might be able to find deals on free shipping and handling as well. Generally speaking, everything I go over in this show will be in stock. If it's not in stock, check back. I know the Defender Partycade has come in and out of stock at least twice over at QVC, so it does pay to stay persistent. Just every day or two check if something's out of stock. Lastly, this is not a comprehensive review. There are obviously hundreds of games that would fall into this category. I'm really not counting anything that's handheld. There's no consoles here, so no Xbox, PlayStation, things like that. These are things really that you could use in your own home arcade, either to flush out an existing one, or if you're looking at starting getting into this hobby, or just a gift for somebody that you know who likes old style retro arcade games. All right, right off the bat in the $20 to $50 range, I'm going to suggest that you head over to target.com because all of these games should be available there, and that is the electronic home arcade lineup by Ambassador. I've reviewed several of their products. Check out them over here. Everything from the $50 Duck Gallery game, which is just an absolute hoot, to the $20 basketball game, which is very good, all the way up to $30 for this pinball game, which is a steal at $30. This is the 2.0 version that you should buy at Target because you're guaranteed to get in the newer version. All the bumpers kick a whole lot better, has great electronic scoring. All of the packaging for electronic home arcade games by Ambassador are really, really good. Anyway, if you're on a limited budget and you want kind of real world physical, albeit small, home arcade games, I would check out any of those games over at Target. In the $100 to $125 price range, I'd recommend you take a look at the countercades available from Arcade 1-Up. Now you can get these, I believe, mostly at QVC and Home Shopping Network, at least the one-player games. These will be Gen 1 and 2 games that you can get. Right now, I think the Pac-Man game is going for $95 over there, and I think Miss Pac-Man's going for $100. I think you can get Frogger for $115. You can sometimes get free shipping on these. If you work your QVC magic, you can get these things delivered to your home for less than $100. Now, because these are kind of earlier products, the screen isn't quite as good as later generations. So if you're wanting to view from the sides, off axis, they're not going to be as good as the two-player third-gen games. These things don't have headphone jacks, and none of the games I mentioned, unless I specifically say otherwise, have Wi-Fi. Yet for that price point, you can get into the hobby, and I've seen entire arcades that were nothing but these countercades, and they look super slick. If you check out a video by Mad Dads, he'll show you how to build a little pedestal to set these things on up if you want to be able to stand up and play these machines. Okay, in the $200 price range, we're going to stick with the Partycades because that's about where the two-player games start out, is around $200 to $230, depending on when and where you get it. Now, this will include two-player games like Mortal Kombat, You can get a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle game. You can get a really nice looking Marvel game there. I think you can get NBA Jam. Again, none of them have Wi-Fi, but the screens are much improved. All of these screens from first gen to third gen, they're all 8 inches. So you're looking at something that is essentially a very large cell phone size screen. So if you have really bad eyes, like I do, you might not want to get this product. If you really want to play 2-player versions of this game, obviously they're mighty small, so it'd be really tough for 2 grown men to sit there and play with them. But kids would easily be able to play these 2-player games. The screen is great. You get a little bit more games in these. You get a headphone jack. They're beautifully packaged. It's certainly, again, a way to start your home arcade, particularly if you are challenged on space. Take a look at these 2-player Partycades from Arcade1Up with their improved screens. Staying in the $200 price range, you can actually pick up the bigger brother to these countercades, and that is these Partycades. They have several different varieties that you can order. They're available at Walmart, QVC, and Home Shopping Network. I think that's all. Maybe Target has them. And essentially, the newer versions of these games have 10 games on there. All of them have headphone jacks. They have really good sound. They have the same kind of controllers. Most interestingly, they have the exact same screen that you will find in the 3/4 scale machines from Arcade1Up. So you're getting a 17-inch screen. 3 different ways to have the game mounted. You can put it over a door, you can mount it to a wall, or do what I've done and just have it be on a stool. There's just a lot of variety here. In many ways, this is Arcade1Up's best bang for the buck. The Defender Partycade in particular is coming in and out of stock a lot. It's already come in and out of stock 2 or 3 times over at QVC. So if you're interested, again, you got to just keep checking back on there. I really do recommend these if you're wanting to get into the hobby, or you have a lot of limited space. These Partycades probably are the best bang for buck. One of the cool things about both the Partycades and the countercades is there is no construction required. So if this is for somebody who is not a handyman or a younger person, or maybe they're disabled or something like that, there's very little muss and fuss. You have to tear off a screen protector and plug it in, and then you're playing. So that is a very cool thing, because all of the other games that I'm going to mention are ones that come in big boxes that you have to put together, kind of like IKEA furniture. So if you're limited by space or money, definitely take a look at these countercades and Partycades from Arcade1Up. They really are cool, and like, I'm definitely thinking about getting some more of these Partycades. They're definitely cool. You can get them Kohl's, Walmart, QVC, HSN, and some other places. So look around. So you'll have some places, and there is a good variety of games available. Okay, so for $300, what can you get? Well, you can't get a whole lot normally, but, and this might be the best deal of anything I say on this show, I just got an email from Scott over at iArcade, and he's telling me that right now you can get the basic full-size 3/4 scale iArcade machine that comes, I think, with 10 games, Wi-Fi interconnectivity, a la carte gaming. So if you see a game that you like, you can buy it. And coming soon, you'll be able to play live over the internet, other people. That is their iArcade basic model, going for $300 with free shipping. This is a heck of a deal. I've really been on the fence about this game because I already have an ALU. I'll talk a little bit about that in a second. But for $300, this 2-player multi-cade is just a steal of a deal. Oh my God, I don't know how they can do it for $300. It's amazing. Now again, you'll have to put it together. It doesn't have the best user interface, and getting 2 grown men around that machine is kind of tough, but for a single player or smaller people, it really is a great deal. Now for $315, you can get either the Mortal Kombat Legacy game or Pac-Man 12-in-1 Legacy game, but it won't come with a lit marquee or riser. You can really only get this deal at Walmart, and as I record this on Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving, the Mortal Kombat version was sold out, so only this Pac-Man game is available. But again, for $315, it's a pretty nice way to get into the hobby. If you really want to get this little foot tall riser, you can buy those for I think $44 at Walmart. So for around $350, you could walk out of Walmart with 2 nice boxes that you could wrap for that certain somebody, and it's a very nice way to get into the 3/4 scale gaming. But again, I would really take a look at that iArcade sale that they have on over there. It's just nuts. In the $400 to $450 price range, you're really looking at the legacy cabinets from Arcade1Up. Again, you have the Pac-Man 12-in-1, you have a Street Fighter, you have a Mortal Kombat, and you have a Tempest game. One of the things that you'll get on these legacy cabs is you have the ability to give yourself more lives. You can change difficulty, you can have scan lines, you can save your high scores. So there's a lot of really good stuff about these legacy cabs. And for $400 to $450, again, depending on where you get it, it is one of the best deals that you can get in terms of a 3/4 scale cabinet from Arcade1Up. All right, your options get even better at the $500 price range. These will all be from $500 to $550. And in that range, the very first thing I'd recommend is the At Games Legend Ultimate, which you can get for $500 at Sam's Club. Now, they were out of stock when I checked on this today, so again, you might not get any joy between now and Christmas, but I would check back in there. I'm fairly certain they're going to get more stock over there at Sam's Club, and that too is a pretty amazing deal. You get, I think, 250 to 300 games. It is by far, no doubt about it, the best 2-player cab that you can buy new on the market right now, and that's because it's physically the biggest game. If you look at it, it has a 24-inch screen. The deck is nice and huge. Depending on which version you get, you can have pinball controls on the side. It does offer other ways to game other than just the included games. It's probably the most flexible in terms of adding games to the system, and of course has the biggest screen, biggest control deck, and is just the one that if you want to play 2 players with your other adult friends, there really is no question as to what is the best cabinet. And for $500, I mean, it really is almost a steal. Again, check back at Sam's Club to see if it's in stock. Staying in that same price range, we start to get into some more of the high-end games from Arcade1Up and 4-player games like NBA Jam and Golden Axe Return of Death Adder. You can get X-Men versus Street Fighter. All of those games are going to go for around $550. I think all of those games have Wi-Fi, so now we're starting to see the Wi-Fi from Arcade1Up. Again, if I haven't mentioned it, the ALU does have Wi-Fi at 500, so that's kind of cool. You want Wi-Fi for a lot of reasons, both because that's a good, easy way to get firmware. Also, it's really cool to be able to post your high scores, on the internet to see where you rank in the world. And also, some of these games you can actually play other people live over the internet if they have the same machine. And that is a very cool thing. That is one of the things you can or will be able to do very soon with iArcade. I don't think you can do it at all with the At Games products, and you can do it with some of the games from Arcade1Up, including X-Men vs. Street Fighter, NBA Jam. I don't think you can with Golden Axe though. And to round out the $500 to $550 price range, this is where we see our first virtual pinball game, and it is the Gottlieb 12-in-1 game that you can pick up right now for, I believe, $550 from Walmart. Now, this is the smallest virtual pinball game you can kind of get new in this market. It has a 24-inch screen. It doesn't have any haptic feedback, nor does it have an interactive back glass. It just has 4 little scoring things. So if you don't have a lot of room and only have the $550, then I would take a look at that. You can get that for $550 over at Walmart. For $600, and now we're starting to talk about some real money, there's a few different options. First one I would take a look at is something like the Pong Arcade Pub Table that you can get for $600. I know Best Buy has had these in stock the whole time. I'm really interested in that because it has Warlords, a true 4-player experience, which to me is the only way to play that game. It'd just be a lot of fun. And I always look for unique control decks. If you're not into something like that, and it is a lot of money for Pong, let's face facts, you can get probably what would be my pick at the $600 price range, and that is Arcade 1-Up's Big Blue Street Fighter. Now this is an all-new design of the cabinet. It is the tallest cabinet, I believe, in the Arcade 1-Up lineup. Has a huge lit marquee, has a nice plexiglass lit up control panel that is slanted. It has a good lineup of games, and most important, it has Wi-Fi. And not just for high scores, but you can actually play other people in Street Fighter using this machine. This is one of the best machines that Arcade 1-Up makes, in my opinion. And I mean, you talk about being impressive. Wow, Big Blue is an incredibly impressive machine. What else do we have at that price range? Okay, so you can also start to get into the higher end branded cabs from iArcade. So these machines will have, I think, 128 gigabytes of memory in them. So basically you can put every game ever made onto that. They have an upgraded set of joysticks and controllers. And also they have branded cabinets, so you can get the Dragon's Lair on there, you can get Double Dragon, you can get Toe Jam and Earl, Retromania, and there's other skins that you can get. All those start at, I believe, $600 shipping, so take a look at that. Again, if you want a multi-cade two-player experience. And to wrap up my recap of things that you can buy this Christmas, we're in the $700 to $800 price range. And so for that, let's knock off the virtual pinball games. You can pick up any one of the 3 versions of virtual pinball that Arcade 1-Up has. They have a Marvel game, have a Star Wars game, and they have Attack from Mars game. Personally, I would probably get the Attack from Mars game just because it's the better game, and I really love the art on that. However, in the virtual pinball realm, I would not buy any of those games. I would take a real strong look at, I believe it's going for $700 or $750 depending on where you get it, and that is the At Games Legends pinball game, or the ALP. That has a lot more included games, has all the Gottlieb games that you can get on the other one, and it has Zachariah and Tato games on there, or Tato. You can get, I think they're up to like 140 tables total that you can get on there. It is without a doubt the biggest screen, 32 inches. It has a joystick that you can put on there, the trackball if you want to play vertical games on there. It has a plunger, haptic feedback, just everything that you want in a pinball game. If you can swing it, and if you have the space, that would be my selection for virtual pinball. Okay, staying in the $700 price range, there's a whole bunch of new games from Arcade 1-Up that is sort of the height of where their technology is at right now. Now, some of these games will not be shipped till after Christmas, so really check that out. But I think you can get the Simpsons game right now for $700. That comes with the original Simpsons side-scrolling beat-em-up, plus the bowling game, which everybody is raving about. And I believe you can get the Tron game. I think if you look around, you can still get that shipped before Christmas. That's going for $700. Coming soon, I think in January, you can also get the Terminator 2 shoot 'em up game and Killer Instinct, which I know a lot of 90s fighting game fans are looking at. Okay, so that wraps up this recap of things that you can buy right now on Black Friday, basically what they cost. Again, check out my reviews of these products where available. If I haven't done a review of it, take a look at Michael B. the Game Genie, Your Average Gamer, Mad Dads, P-Dubs, 19K Fox, Retro Ralph. There's a bunch of guys out there who do really good reviews on this stuff, and they're all trusted in the community. All right, if there's any suggestions you have, please list them down below. If you see any kind of big sale, please list it down below. I'm sure people will be interested in that. If you like this sort of content, give me a thumbs up on the way out the door. Please subscribe to this channel if you haven't, and hit the notification bell so you know when videos like this are posted. Love each other, and until next time, I will see you guys in the Game Shack. Mwah!
Be sure to visit evilgeniusentertainment.com for exclusive content, swag, casting call news, and much, much more.